Alright, welcome back everyone. Exciting intro.
Oh, you must be the new battle trainer I've been hearing all about.
Might be.
Hey, nice to meet you. I'm Nia.
Hi.
I'm one of the battle trainers here in Ferrum. There's lots to see around here, but don't worry, I'll make sure you know your way around. I battle alongside my trusty partner, Weavile. Have you ever seen a Pokemon this cute? I doubt it.
It's not one of my favorites.
Huh? He was just sleeping over there, but where did he go? I'll introduce you guys some other time. Right then, first things first. Welcome to the Ferrum Battle. Working as one with your partner Pokemon and facing off in intense one-on-one battles is what makes Ferrum battles great.
I like that they call it Ferrum. Ferrous is the Latin term for iron. Should be the same thing for the Iron Fist tournament. Keeping that vague Tekken theme.
But first, you'll need this to get started as a battle trainer. Here's your battle AR. When you wear this, you'll be able to synergize with your Pokemon in battle. Your battle AR uses something called a synergy stone. There's actually a lot we don't know about them. But hey, we'll get into the details later. Make sure you take care of it. It's so exciting thinking about the brand new journey you're just starting out on. I'm definitely looking forward to
It's actually not brand new for us, like through the Wii U version back in the day.
I'll give you whatever assistance I can, so just try to have some fun out there. Right then,
Can pick up the DX version because I didn't feel like doing it all over again.
You'll be able to change your partner Pokemon later. For now, choose whichever one feels right for you.
They call me, and I can't use spaces, so. I'm a dude. Even more white. Okay. It's a guy having more somber anime eyes. This one's just turd. It's like, just don't with me right now. Can't even. Alright, so some of these people we had on the version we used to play, but some of the ones in the corner here, like Darkrai, is new to the DX version. The DLC characters there, I forgot about them too. Darkrai, Caesar, Leon, Sidui. Yeah, I think Krogan was new too, so those two, and then the DLC people. Create a character in costume, Weavile. Rip you off. Oh, good old Machamp. Muscles.
This is the Ferrum region, where we are now. It's a huge island
You are
surrounded
here.
by nothing but the ocean itself. Ferrum battles are super popular here, if you hadn't already guessed. The types of battles differ a bit from city to city, so I'll just give you the short and sweet version. To start off, right now we're here in Old Ferrum Town.
You are here.
It's also known as My Town, and here you can check your battle data and change your settings, stuff like that. Don't worry, whenever we head to a new area, I'll give you the rundown. I've got your back.
Thanks.
Next up is right here, Ferrum Stadium. This is where the Ferrum League is held. This is a single-player mode where you battle your way to victory in the official league.
Where we'll be focused most
Next
of our
up
time.
is Teller Town, I suppose. Here you can join in casual matches against CPU opponents. Did you hear? There have been some strange battles going on at the haunted house recently. Do you think it's because of those rumors saying that you'll get something nice if you battle there?
Could be.
Check it out if you're interested. When you want to battle against your friends, you should head over to Selen Island. There, you can battle using 2 controllers.
A lot of fighting games will usually put the single battle and local battle as a single thought process.
If you want to battle with some nearby friends, you can also use local communication. Head to Thalia Beach if you want to give it a go.
And of course the
then
online.
there's Neos City, where you can battle against online players from around the globe.
Won't spend too much
You
time
can
there.
check out battle replays here too. In Techna City, you can learn all sorts of stuff about battles and practice a bit too. I'll give you a nice little walkthrough in the tutorial. Alrighty then. Guess I went on a bit longer than planned, but that should be just about everything. Feel free to start off wherever you want, but I think you might be best off heading to Techna City to play through the tutorial and learn the basics of Ferrum battles.
It's probably a good idea for me to get a refresher.
Here, you
Alright,
can learn about
figure out
Ferrum
what we're
battles
actually doing
and
here.
practice as much as you see fit. In the tutorial, I'll teach you all about battling from the basics. In free training, you can use a number of settings to practice however you see fit. If you have 2 controllers, you will also be able to control both characters in training mode. I'd recommend starting off with my tutorial. Oh, right, you can use the pause menu during battle to check your Pokemon's move list. It's pretty useful, so
It
make
is
sure
useful.
to use it. Which Pokemon are you battling with?
Champ. Yeah, so I figured I'd keep them with
In
default.
this course, I'll teach you all about the basics of the game. Now then, what shall we start with? Alrighty, I guess we better start off learning how to move. Go ahead and try moving
Pick
your
up your
Pokemon.
feet.
You can use the directional buttons to move around the field.
Our control pad for
You can also
Oh,
jump with
yeah,
the B
that's
button.
easier.
If you press the same direction twice on the directional buttons, you can dash step forward and back or
You'll
side
dodge
to side.
roll.
Okay, let's move on. Next up, we'll learn how to attack. Press this button
No,
to
Sprout,
use
it doesn't change with the
attacks.
tutorial though.
Long distance attacks techniques are called ranged attacks. Try to land a few ranged attacks. Next, press this button over and over again. You'll launch an attack that'll chase down your opponent. There you go. Now you're getting it.
It's kicking ass this game. Now I need to push that.
Alrighty then. Now here's the
Kicking
important
butt.
part.
Okay. That one's linked out, so I'm not sure which one you said. But good morning there, Race. Need to get to work here this morning, but glad you could drop by. Appreciate the friendly howdies. Did see you on the phone that you had started playing yesterday, so hope that went well for you. Usually you keep pretty much off Twitch most Sundays. Day off. Yeah, welcome. Happy Monday. You had a good weekend, sir.
All battles consist of two states, field phase and dual phase.
Did enjoy playing this when we played through it originally on the Wii U, but like I said, it was a lot of time put into it, so I didn't feel like picking it up over again when they
At the start of the
re-released it on the
battle,
Switch.
where we are right now, is
Mario
the
Kart was
field
that
phase.
way, but then they added all the DLC stuff afterwards, so I was like, okay then.
And this is dual phase.
Typical side-scrolling battle.
Now then, how do you go about changing phases? Well, you see, if you land a certain type of attack, you'll shift phases. Let's check out this demonstration. Alrighty, now try to shift to dual phase. Try to
I can
hit
do
your
that. I can
opponent
do
with
that
this
9
attack.
times.
Okay, now you've changed the phase. In dual phase, you can dish out some serious damage, but close quarter combat is risky too.
Of course, you're playing with someone like Machamp, and that's usually where for a
Here's where
fight.
the real battle goes down, but you'll need to be careful. The way you move around differs a bit from field phase. Let's practice moving around in dual phase. By pressing forward twice on the directional buttons, you can perform a forward dash step. By pressing back twice on the directional buttons, you can perform a backward dash step. You can jump using the B button. In dual phase, the action is highly varied. All right, that should be good.
Pretty much done the same
Land
way.
a certain attack on your opponent, and you'll shift from dual phase back to field phase.
Punishment.
You can also someone with wits like yours has probably already figured this out, but battles will involve shifting back and forth between field phase and dual phase.
It's a dance.
Plus, when you cause a phase shift, you'll get a nice little bonus. And by that, I mean you'll fill up your synergy gauge.
Which I need for bursting. I'm
We'll
following.
talk more about how to use the synergy gauge later on. Ah, right.
Skilled master.
But you can block by pressing the R button. By blocking, you can all but completely defend against your opponent's attack. Alrighty, let's try to block an attack. Just hold down the R button and you'll be fine.
Is that all you got? Is that all you got?
Whenever you're in a pinch, Just press the R button. Don't forget. All right. Keep an eye right here on the screen.
Wow.
This is your synergy gauge. Your synergy gauge will fill up as you land or take hit. Once your synergy gauge is full, try pressing the L and R buttons together. Your Pokkén used its synergy burst.
Focus
Your
up.
Pokkén will be superpowered while it's in synergy burst. Wreak havoc with synergy burst. You can use a burst attack once during every synergy burst. Try using a burst attack. Land a hit to deal some huge damage. You definitely don't want to miss your chance.
Tutorial finished.
It's all about timing. If you can land it during though trying to do an attack too, then it does quite a bit more revenge damage.
Choose your Pokkén. In this course, I'll tell you all you need to know about battles and teach you some techniques you can put to use right away. Press this to perform a long-distance attack aimed forward. It's great because you can use these attacks to shift into dual phase, even from a distance. This is what you'll want to strive for in field phase. Try to land a few forward-ranged attacks.
Standard Y, which just does that. Ooh, sideways and does a leaping homing version.
Nicely done.
Cross the chop.
Press the X button while jumping in field phase and land a hit, and you'll cause a phase shift. You'll want to get the timing right, just as you jump to dodge an oncoming attack.
In business.
Try to land a jump attack. There you go. Now you're getting it.
Shot a lot faster than I was going.
During dual phase, if you land a hit with the Y button, press the Y button rapidly. Land consecutive hits to get a combo. This is what we call a Pokkén combo.
Poke.
Land a Pokkén combo.
Standard
While you're
combo
still
would be
getting
just
the
fine.
hang of battles, make sure to shoot for lots of Pokkén combos. A counterattack absorbs an incoming attack and quickly dishes out a counterblow. Time it just right, and you'll be able to strike back at your opponent.
Always classic.
You can use counterattacks in both field phase and dual phase. Try to counter your opponent's attack.
Technically, I don't have to charge it.
Latch onto your opponent and land blow after blow. That's what grab attacks are all about. By using grab attacks, you can break through your opponent's block.
Gotta beat blocks. Blocks beat counters.
On top of that, grab attacks are always super effective against counterattacks.
Blocks and counters beat
That being
regular
said,
attacks.
they're not very effective against normal attacks. Use a grab attack on your
Poke
opponent.
sandwich, poke park, take poke walk on poke leg. I prefer poke bowls.
attacks beat normal attacks.
Damn, I was just getting into the attack triangle.
Grab attacks beat counter attacks.
You know we're doing it right because they got the whole colored flash.
And normal attacks beat grab attacks. Basically, this attack triangle is like a fancy game of rock, paper, scissors. Trainers who master this attack triangle will take control of the battle.
Probably.
Probably.
It's all about reading your opponent.
This thing over here is called the support gauge. Your support
frog.
gauge will fill up as time passes. And once your support gauge is full, press the L button and try calling in a support Pokkén. It'll come in and use one of its Pokkén moves to help you out.
Keeps them distracted anyway.
During the planning time before each round, you can switch out the support Pokkén you want to use. You can choose which support Pokkén you want to use from your active support set. You can select a support Pokkén that suits your battle strategy, or maybe even select a support Pokkén that'll help you out against a particular opponent. Support Pokkén come in 3 different types: Attack, Disrupt, and Enhance.
Da-da-da.
Attack type support Pokkén come in handy when you want to deal out damage and push your opponent back. Disrupt type support Pokkén typically swoop in to block your opponent's movements. Sometimes they can even counter your opponent's attacks.
Like this one.
Enhance type support Pokkén will power up your Pokkén or heal some of your HP, things like that.
Ta-da.
Pick a support Pokkén that suits your playstyle, and be sure to use it when the time's right.
I don't remember which one we used to use.
Sometimes, when you use support
Wasn't
Pokkén,
one of my primary
your battle
focuses during
Pokkén
battle.
will receive a status. These statuses include positive statuses and negative statuses. First things first, positive statuses.
Start with the
While
positive.
you're under the effect of a positive status, you'll get some sort of advantage.
Attack increase, defense increase, speed increase,
For
etc.
instance,
etc.
Eevee will give you a positive status that grants you a temporary increase to your attack.
Which is nice if I was really
The
trying to.
effect depends on the support
double down.
Pokkén, but things will be
Activate
in
your
your
synergy
favor
right
while
afterwards.
you have a positive status. Next up, we have negative statuses. Get hit with a negative status, and you'll temporarily be at a disadvantage.
More power!
Take Emolga, for example. He'll hit you with an attack that temporarily reduces your speed.
Oh, he got me!
Use these statuses to your advantage to get the lead in battle. Between rounds, I'll drop in to cheer you on.
Thanks!
Depending on whether you win or lose a round, your support gauge or your synergy gauge may get a boost. There are several types of cheering you might receive. There are cheer skills that are in effect from the first round, as well as those with special effects. Sometimes, during field phase, you'll find power scattered around.
I forgot about those.
You can pick up this power to fill up your synergy gauge. Power on the field will disappear if you don't pick it up after a certain amount of time. Go ahead and pick up the power that appears on the field.
Sorry, it was right in front of me. There's a new one. Not too much for us here this month. That one popped up right on top of him. Man, I'm getting full copy. Good on ya. That we used to play the Wii U version, so we had quite enjoyed it, but said not enough
The
to
tide of the
buy it
battle
a
can
second
really
time over at full
change
price.
depending on where the power appears on the field. Now, let me tell you a bit about each battle
I actually played
Pokemon's
quite a bit of the
recommended
online mode for a while too.
Why don't you try this out?
Don't need 2 copies usually though. Not one of those guys that owns a copy of Skyrim on every platform.
Nice!
Cross the chop!
Next, give this a shot.
It's a nice way to grab people.
Okay!
More especially because I typically play as close
Alright,
range
and
fighters.
now this. Okay!
Tutorial finish.
Alright, now applying what we learned.
Which Pokemon are you battling with?
It's a nice way to practice against certain types of players, yeah.
In this course, I'll teach you a few techniques that should help you out in battle.
Duck.
During duel phase, press down on the directional buttons to enter into a low stance. While in low stance, press the Y button to use a quick attack. Press the X button while in low stance to use an attack
Pop
to knock down your... Try to land an attack from low stance. Nicely done!
It's more of a sweep than a pop-up.
By pressing up on the directional buttons, your Pokemon will take a high stance. By pressing the Y button in a high stance, you can perform an intercepting attack on an airborne opponent. In a high stance, you can press the X button to use an attack that will parry low-to-the-ground attacks. Try to use an attack from a high stance.
In case they tried to do a sweep kick themselves.
There you go! Now you're getting it! You can hold down the button to charge up your counterattack.
That I did figure
It'll
out.
take some time to charge, but you'll deal more damage, and you'll also get a combo for managing to land a hit.
It's a lot like the counter's abilities on Street Fighter.
By charging up your counterattack, you can increase the amount of time you can ward off your opponent's attacks.
Also increase the amount of time that they can counter you with a grab.
Try to charge up a counterattack. During a counterattack, use the directional buttons and R button to cancel and move into a dash step.
You just need to throw them off. Or
This
you
is
determined
simply
they weren't
called
going
a
to actually
cancel.
attack you.
You can use counterattacks to deflect your opponent's attacks and then cancel.
Yeah. Take less damage than blocking.
Try to cancel a counterattack. Nicely done! Piercing attacks are special moves that cannot be blocked by counterattacks.
They're always nice.
For example, counterattacks with a fully charged hold become piercing attacks.
Counter your counter to my counter with the counter.
Your best bet with counterattacks is to take the initiative and get the first move in.
As opposed to with Street Fighter, wherein the guy who counters second will usually get the hit landed in.
In field phase, you can also hold the last hit of a homing attack to make it a piercing attack. Your Pokkén won't take any hits while knocked down, and it'll get back up on its own, too.
Can't spam OTG moves or anything like
This will
Marvel
give
vs.
your
Capcom.
opponent the chance to move in for an attack, so you'll need to be careful.
Or Tekken.
Depending on the attack, you may take some damage regardless of whether you had your block
It's
up or
raining
not.
again. That's why countering's better in those options.
This is called block damage, but you'll never be KO'd by block damage. If you keep blocking against an attack, you'll notice that the block will start to turn red. If you don't release it, you'll eventually get hit with a guard break.
Don't be that
When you're
guy.
hit with a guard break, you will be left momentarily defenseless. How many attacks you can endure before getting hit with a guard break depends on the Pokkén. Blocking is important, there's no doubt about it. But try not to get hit with a guard break. While in Synergy Burst, you won't be stunned from taking a few small hits. So you
One
can
of the
move
few
in for
Blind
the
Melon
attack
songs I know,
without
yeah.
worrying about your opponent's ranged attacks one bit. Try to hit an opponent using a ranged attack with a homing attack. There you go. Now you're getting it. When your opponent uses their Synergy Burst, you'll want to try to use the X button for strong attacks to stun them, or grab attack to try to stop them from getting in any attacks.
Hit them before they can hit me.
You can link up one attack with the next. This is what we call a combo. Let's try to land a simple combo. First off, try out this combo.
Classic.
You don't have to master high-level combos right away, but it might be fun to try things out once you get the hang of battling. I'm sure you've already noticed that battle Pokkén all have different amounts of HP, right?
660.
On top of that, how quickly the synergy gauge fills up and how long a synergy burst lasts also differ from one Pokkén to the next.
Low HP, quick synergy gauge, short synergy line. Delightfully average.
Crazy, right? There are all sorts of different battle stages, and the battle arenas themselves vary slightly in shape and size.
Small, medium, large.
Battle Pokkén all have their strengths and weaknesses, and you'll have to be ready to switch up your fighting style from time to time. As you battle, your Pokkén will increase its skill level.
All the waste of time going through and getting all the Pokemon leveled up on the old version.
As you increase your skill level, you can apply those skill points to whichever skills you'd like. As your skills level up, you'll get all sorts of useful advantages in battle. Remember, you can switch out your skill points from My Town whenever you want.
Tutorial finish.
Ooh, more training. I don't know about high-level battle
Use
techniques.
your Pokkén.
Maximize my education.
If you hold the last hit of a homing attack, it will cause your opponent to guard break. When a guard break occurs in field phase, it will cause a phase shift. Use a charged up homing attack and cause a guard break. When you're up against an opponent with a tough block, charge up a homing attack to shake him up.
Which, of course, if he's clever, then it'll immediately shift to doing a counter. Like, nerp.
During duel phase, there are actions you can use that quickly link up Pokkén moves. This is also a type of cancel. By using cancels, you will be able to freely link up your actions. And based on the type of Pokkén move, you may also be able to deal consecutive hits. Try to cancel this action and land consecutive hits with a Pokkén move. Done. Your opponent has pinned you down with repeated ranged attacks.
They do that.
In times like these, you should try jumping to ward off their attacks. If your opponent is close enough when you jump, you can strike back during the opening in their ranged attack. If you find timing your jumps right to be too tricky, you can always try a block and try to move in closer for an attack. Ranged attacks can be a real pain, huh? The way they chase after you like that.
Uh-huh.
It's times like these you can use a step technique to negate their homing abilities.
Dodge roll.
Use some well-timed steps to avoid an incoming ranged attack.
And I keep getting closer.
During duel phase, when your opponent launches a powerful attack while jumping, you can use anti-air actions to effectively intercept their attack. When in a high stance, you can press the Y button to use anti-air actions.
That's right. Actions.
Use the Y button while in a high stance to intercept an incoming jump attack. There you go. Now you're getting it.
Step off.
If you block against an attack that leaves a big opening, it will give you the chance to strike back. If you launch your attack fast enough, the opponent will be left unable to block against it. Pull it off, and you're guaranteed to deal some damage. Block against your opponent's incoming attack and swiftly strike back. Not bad. By knocking your opponent's battle Pokkén into the wall,
Wish that
you'll leave
part's
them
similar to
open
Tekken.
for some follow-up attacks. By effectively using the walls, you
Since you
can
can't knock
unleash
them
some
around while they're on
actions
the
that
ground.
normally only knock down your opponent and deal some massive damage. Try to land some wall combos.
I did the wrong attack. So I like mine better, yeah?
Tutorial finish.
Alright. And then some pro details.
Choose your Pokkén.
Get a graduating degree.
In close combat, it's important to understand what the situation will be like after each attack. For instance, after you land one of your moves, You usually have a small window of time where you can move while your opponent is still stunned. Which means you can move in for another attack. On the other hand, if your opponent uses a block against you, they'll be able to make their next move before you can. Your best bet in such situations is to keep your cool and just use a block. It might also be a good idea to try to pull off a counterattack. Also, when your attack misses its mark, you'll be left completely open to your opponent. So make sure to try to only use attacks at a distance you know will hit your opponent. If you're pressed up against the wall when a phase shift from dual phase to field phase occurs, you'll be blasted off the walls like this.
Which is no fun.
You'll take some damage when this happens, but I guess if you think of it as your chance to break away from the wall and reposition yourself, it doesn't really seem so bad.
Could be worse.
If it gets launched by a powerful attack, your Pokémon will automatically perform a mid-air recovery.
Look at me.
After a mid-air recovery, it will be temporarily invulnerable to attacks. Press forward on the directional buttons when this happens, and you can change the direction of its mid-air recovery. While you're falling back down, you can also use the directional buttons to slightly change the direction of your fall. When two ranged attacks collide, the stronger of the two may completely negate the other. If both are at about the same level, they will cancel each other out. When you know you can't beat your opponent in a clash of ranged attacks, it's best to just block or jump to dodge those attacks. You know, you can actually recover some of the damage you take. When you take damage, the dark green section shown is recoverable HP. You can recover this recoverable HP by causing a phase shift.
I mean, not all of it, but land another phase shift would be good to go.
You can also recover this recoverable HP by using Synergy Burst or via the effects of support Pokemon. Don't forget that during Synergy Burst, you will gradually recover your recoverable HP.
Not immediately, apparently.
Keep in mind that you can also lose recoverable HP. If your opponent causes a phase shift while you're in field phase, you'll lose some of your recoverable HP.
Ouchie.
If you attack while jumping, such as by pressing the X button while in high stance, you'll be able to launch your attacks while avoiding low ground level attacks. In that same style, anti-air actions will easily win over higher placed attacks. No matter which case, the point is that both, when matched up, will have the unilateral advantage over the other. I'm sure I've already told you how battle stages come in all sorts of different shapes and sizes, but the terms that determine how synergy power appears differ between battle arenas too.
I think in one of them they just kind of wash in here at the start of the round, as opposed to when a support calls in, as opposed to just hitting around. I think that one's the other ones that get washed in by waves that come every periodically.
If you take the time to study the stages themselves, you'll be able to use the terrain to your advantage.
Tutorial finished.
There we go. We're all smarted up.